Hi, this is Roger, thanks for dropping by. This is an unusual vid. The previous vid was encouraging people to spend time in their happy place and sort of saying that this is my happy place. And during today I reflected on that quite a lot, and it dawned on me that this isn't as much of a happy place as it used to be. And I thought, so what's changed? Why isn't this so anymore? And the reason is in my right hand at this point in time. The balance has tipped too far. I'm spending too much time messing about on YouTube. Yeah? Although I enjoy it, the balance has gone the wrong way. And it suddenly dawned on me, looking around my plants, and unfortunately, due to recent events, I can't just water my plants anymore. I have to analyse the flipping things. Rightly so, you know, finding problems before they become serious is part of the game. It's part of the game we play, and, you know, it's important. So as I was going round, I sort of was thinking, you know, I've had days where I've got a lot to do in here, and I'm not starting it at the right point in the day where I feel comfortable with it. I'm coming in here late and finding myself rushing to get stuff done and having to leave things and go on to the next day. You know, plants are drying out, all things like that, and it just, one step backwards and a quick look around said that if this place goes downhill, what have I got left to film? What will be the point of the videos if all my plants are suffering? The balance has tipped the wrong way. I'm spending too much time on the computer, and it stays on all day long. You know, and out of the corner of my eye I think, oh, there's another message popped up. Let's go and see what they said, and busily type away the answer. That's time I should be in here. So I need to adjust the balance, and the way to do it is, one, not hold this thing in my right hand so often and for so long. Two things there, I suppose. And the other one is to just let the YouTube bit of it die down a bit and be not gone, but not the priority, because that's what's happened. I didn't see it. So buried in my head in it that I hadn't seen what's happened. This is what's important to me out here, and what's in it, and growing it and looking after it. Yeah, the YouTube side of it was always a sideline, and it's certainly relatively recently just taken over, so it's just got to go back the other way. I've got to start taking my time in here and enjoying it, which was why I did it in the first place. I've also taken a step back while I was watering today and thought, do you know, there's quite a lot of these plants I don't actually like. They're taking up space. So I think I'm going to have a bit of a clear out as well, and make room for the things that I do like to grow and do well and get some airspace around them and things like that. So part and parcel is probably a mini clear out. It's not drastic, you know. I'm not going to fertilise the hedge for the next 10 years with the bodies, that's not what I'm saying. But what I am saying is that, you know, don't stop leaving your comments. Videos will probably be a bit less frequent and perhaps a bit more to the point. Yeah, and stop waffling so much, like what I'm doing now. I know, don't need telling. But I need this to become my special happy place again. And of late, that feeling has faded. And I've got to get it back again. It's important to me. So the YouTube side of life has to fade a bit. It's not going to stop. You know, I'll still do videos. I'll still do my Everything in Bloom on the 8th. You know, the things will still be going along. But what I will say is, what you might have seen as an almost immediate response, you put a comment and get a response quite quickly, that's the bit that's stopping. I'll allocate an amount of time, yeah, and I'll deal with that side of the YouTube life. and then I'll put it to one side and turn that flipping computer off during the day. I did it for the first time today in a very, very long time. And you know, I've enjoyed this day a lot more. It hasn't been there, lurking out of the corner of my eye. I haven't had to rush out, well, not rush. Can you see me rushing? But I haven't gone over there and dealt with something as it occurred. It doesn't need that level of attention. It doesn't need it. Yeah? I doubt if there's many others do it. And I've fallen into a little bit of a trap, the YouTube trap, where the YouTube side of life becomes just too important. And it isn't. This is what's important. It's my orchids, my enjoyment of them. So I've got to get back to that state of mind where this is the priority. And keep your comments coming as and when you get the chance. And I will get round to answer them. That's not going to change. I've always done that. It's something that I believe is important. Others may not see it that way. I do. If somebody puts a comment up, you'll get an answer, even if it's only thanks. Because to me it's just polite. So that's going to carry on. Just don't expect it to be as quick. And who knows, there might be quite long gaps before I have a go at the comments. And I might be answering comments on 2 or 3 videos at once because of that gap. But quite honestly, that's how it's got to be for my own well-being. It's me worrying about everybody else and forgetting about myself. I need to get back to this being total enjoyment, not work. Not trying to rush things because something else is in the back of my mind all the time. So that's my end of day video. Things need to change. I need to get my happy place back where it works instead of only half working. Yeah. So yeah. And do you know what I'm going to enjoy in a minute? Do you know what I did this afternoon? I'll tell you. Absolutely nothing. I sat in my chair. I watched a bit of telly. My cat sat on my lap. I bet he was thinking, well, what happened to me then? I'm being ignored because I was constantly doing other things, getting out of this chair, coming in here, going back over there, doing this, that and the other. And I didn't settle. And so even my cats, I think, have noticed the difference. Yeah? So they need more time spent with them and not keep flitting about from one place to the other. So I need to get back to where I once was. And I don't know how long ago that was because I didn't notice it change. But I need to get back to that place. It's important to me. And it just means you won't get such quick responses. You'll still get some videos, perhaps not quite as often, but they'll be there, don't worry. And do you know what I'm going to do this evening? I'm just about to eat, and when I've eaten, I'm going to sit down and watch the total eclipse in the States. That doesn't happen very often, so I can make time for that. If I'm messing about on YouTube on the computer this evening, I'd miss it. So, you know, I need to reallocate priorities. And you know what I'm going to really enjoy, and I can't share it, is this is now open enough to start being fragrant. So also, sometime this evening, after it gets dark, I'm going to come out here and sit down. Well, no, I can't sit down. I suppose I could sit on the table. Lost me chair, didn't I? That was another change, but I wasn't using it. But I'm going to come out here after dark and shut the door behind me and just stand and enjoy that. I can't share that with you, but perhaps I could tell you about it sometime soon, because I still don't know what the fragrance is going to be like, because it's a first time bloomer. Anyway, some changes, some thoughts, and I don't know whether anybody else is in the same boat, but if you are, I'd recommend you take a step back and smell the coffee. And at this time of day I'm not drinking it. My wine's waiting for me. You realise? Don't get too bogged down with the YouTube side of life. I did it in the beginning, that's fine. You know, when you're excited and you get up in the morning to see if you've got any comments and how many views you've got. Now that faded relatively quickly and just became part of the hobby. But certainly over recent times, the balance has switched too far in what I consider to be the wrong direction. This is part of my life out here, not YouTube. That's a smaller part. Still a part, but it shouldn't be my priority, and it's become that, I'm afraid. So I'm sorry, it's got to stop. I have to switch back to this being the important thing in life, and the YouTube being secondary. Not gone, just secondary. So I'll leave it at that, and I'll see you in the next video. And I don't know when it's going to be, because it might not be tomorrow. We'll see. If I find something of interest, I'll film it. But I've got to stop this feeling in my mind of a need to do a video every day, and filming stuff often just for the sake of it, just to get a video up there. Because I thought it was what I needed. Well, I don't. And that step backwards today has been quite a revelation. You know, last time I went for a walk, you came with me, and we went and got some moss and had a look at some butterflies and things. Do you know, I haven't been out to do that sort of thing since then, because I seem to be getting bogged down and tied to that dratted computer, which is why I turned it off once I'd updated my notes today, which I realised I hadn't done for nearly, 5 days. Yeah? I'm on the computer and I didn't update my notes. It's all gone the wrong way. And quite honestly, it's not going to take a gentle path back to where it should be. It's going to be snapped back to where it should be. It's a wake-up call. Trying to help others and send others to their happy place, I suddenly realised that I need to get back to mine. So that's what I'm going to do. I hope you understand, but it needs to be so, and I'm going to make it so. See you again. And just to end on, here's today's brain teaser. We've been doing a lot of talking about nutrients and the elements and what effect they have on our plants and how we can make them readily available. Yeah, there are 3 probably as important, if not more important, than any of those elements that haven't even been mentioned. Do you know what they are? Food for thought. Absolutely critical, and yet not a mention. Do you know how to control those 3? Go and have a think.